I think he was dictating, whoever was writing. Because loud, please note right below President Barack Obama's picture, he has called him, like it's a jab or an insult. He has called him Barack Hussein Obama. No, wait. I have to read for you. And then Joe Biden, former President Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden. I kid you not. You even think 50 Cent is petty, but the pettiest of the petty wap himself has to be President Donald Trump. Good Lord. You know, he assumes he's going to sit on that seat forever. Let me tell you some of the things he says. It says right underneath President Barack Hussein Obama's portrait, of course, was the first black president, a community organizer, one-term senator from Illinois, and one of the most divisive political figures in American history. Okay, blah, 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 writes all his shortcomings. And then he says, under Obama, the ISIS spread across the Middle East, Libya collapsed into chaos, and Russia invaded and took Crimea in Ukraine. He crippled small businesses with crushing regulation and environmental red tape, devastated American coal miners, and weaponized the IRS and federal bureaucracies against his... Oh, my goodness! Oh my God. When you're sitting down and you're saying a prayer for a president, please make sure that the cherry on that cake of prayer is President Donald Trump, because even this is beneath him, right? I never thought anything would ever be beneath him, but even this should be beneath him. My personal opinion that, you know, nothing lasts forever. Once upon a time, he's going to walk away from that role as president. But is he going to be proud of some of the things that he put in place when he was sitting on that, you know, in the Oval Office? So it's time we had our discussion on Word Around Town. My name is Yolanda Mulo. The show is Sugar and Spice, 94.4 Spice FM. And today, Aki, just adulting sucks like on major levels. And today we're talking about bills. Those tiny little things that you can't stay away from. I'm really sorry. I know you're trying to look at me and I'm looking down. But our conversation today, out of all the bills you pay, which one do you dislike the most? Like, no one likes bills, let's be honest, right? And I'm going to keep it short. And I'm just going to go back to my upbringing. I was raised a Christian by my parents. In the village, they are AIC. In Nairobi, there was no AIC church around them. So they decided to raise us as Baptists. So I'm a little liberal, but I have read my book. And you cannot have the Baptists without water being immersed inside the water and come out. So water is very sacred. But at the same time, water was created by God, if you are a Christian like me. If you're not a Christian, but still listen to me, it's a natural occurring phenomenon. Correct? To date. Do you understand? Undo. I have never, that is French. Do you understand? Undo tueva kiwu. Okay, I have never understood. Let me translate from you from the French, Spanish to English dictionary. How do we to date pay for water? When I carry my container, in how we call it in my mother tongue, container to the supermarket, and the refillable ones and whatever, the ones you leave there, and then you leave with the... So, you know, the ones that we recycle, and you take the empty one and then you go and pick one. Yes, thank you, those ones. Today, if we can't pay for air, then how do we pay for water? Make it make sense. To date is the most painful of all my bills. Everything else, at some point, I understand. Someone put up some infrastructure. They say, "Chow, sijui what satellite from sijui which orbit, sijui nini." I understand the internet. I understand television. I understand radio. I understand our clothes. I understand rent. I understand all bills. But how do we pay for water? In fact, if I was a member of parliament, we would be discussing that in parliament every day. All water companies would just shut down because, Yolanda, if I had it my way, how are you paying for water? Oh, Siji bottled that sauce. Siji from Siji which Serengeti Springs. Shut up. Is it your spring? Did you make it? Or Kamosova? Nikokaku. Just the Musova, the bottle is yours. So how How are you? If I come with my own bottle, is the water free? To date, I feel like that's the biggest scam. I don't know about capitalism. I don't know about what, but make it make sense why in 2025 we are paying for. If you don't pay for air, how are you paying for water? Me, that's my only problem. That's my only qualm. I've never understood how we pay for Maji water. And it really, by the way, it leaves me so gutted every time I have to pay for it. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Out of all the bills you pay, which one do you like? Which one do you dislike? Which one do you hate? You even sit and think, why must you pay? If there was no law and they could take you nowhere, you would never pay for it. For a minute. I want to hear from you at SpiceFM KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.